Okay, Sagittarius, this is Aries and Saturn in Aries. Okay, so it went into Aries on May 24th, and it will be there until April of 2028. It dips back into Pisces for a little while at the end of this year, but mainly it'll be in Aries. And of course, Saturn is karma and lessons. And some of the things that will be worked on are, I have a little bit written down, our impulses, the speed at which we do things, our level of confidence, motivation, willingness to take leaps of faith and start new things. Actually, I decided to concentrate on challenges and gifts, okay? So your challenge, it looks like your biggest challenge to overcome is hiding. It looks like you're hiding part of yourself here. Because I looked at I'm using the shadow deck, and it says, hiding your true self. Actually, I'm going to read a little bit of that. So this is about self-acceptance. Okay. You could be in front of a mirror, or you could hide behind the mirror. Yeah, you choose to be the mirror. Hiding is a survival instinct. Do you want to be honest or truly be yourself? Very few people will accept you then. You are too complicated to be comfortable, too contradictory to be easy, too exceptional to be believed, too plain to be considered. You can be the sun, you can be the moon, you can be the door, you can be the road. You can't be the butterfly. Oh wait, you can be the butterfly, you can be the brick. Maybe the question is if, but when. Sometimes real solitude is when there is not a right moment to be yourself and not the right person, and neither the right way. Being yourself is like a moment at the spa. It is a massage for the soul, a purification process that brings in oxygen and turns away age and wear. It is bliss and pleasure. Sorry, I need a little light to see it. So interesting, which is so interesting as well, because I have the Seven of Swords. This is also hiding and avoidance. Well, I mean, it is hiding in a way. It's hiding our thoughts and feelings, or our thoughts at least, with the swords. But see how he's looking away. So to me, it's like a little bit of avoidance in relationships. Ooh, look, I just saw the Two of Cups. Avoiding what makes us happy, maybe. You could put on some sort of front as well. The King of Wands. Because it's interesting, because we have this security and stability, so we could put on a front that we're very secure in ourselves, but maybe you're not. So you could be hiding that you're insecure. Also, there is maybe underneath, there's some sort of, this Three of Swords is pain. So let me clarify that. Maybe there's some pain that you haven't processed, and that is the heart of this. So this is going to be a challenge, so I'm thinking about Aries. Isn't that self? Okay, Three of Swords. Letting go of some pain. But what does the pain do to you? I guess maybe it's different for everybody. You have a lot of threes. For me, threes are peace. You have 333. So that's alignment. So body, mind, and spirit. Once you get to body, mind, and spirit are aligned, you're at inner peace. So I wonder which one is out of alignment. I guess it'd be different for everybody. I can't really... Look at all the threes. I just noticed that. You have 33. So these are gifts over here. But you have 22, 33. So there had to be some sort of major... something major in your life that happened. Because these are master numbers over here. That caused this, that led to you to feel this, for this block. So security and stability, that always makes me think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where we have to have certain levels of, I think I have it here somewhere. Hold on. Okay, I do. Okay, so this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So it's a triangle. So that would be my 3, but that's a little bit different. Okay. So for Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he's like a psychologist. So your basic needs have to be met before you can self-actualize, okay? And at the bottom, it goes in these like levels. So these are your basic needs. So self-actualization would be before you can reach your dreams, you know? And at the bottom, it's your physical needs, your food, shelter, clothing, you know, the air you breathe, the water, sleep. Then it goes to safety. But I have them matched up here with the chakras. And this would be red. So maybe at some time, which would be the bottom one. So maybe at some point in your life, you didn't feel like you had enough food, water, shelter. I wonder if that's what it was. It could, like this could stem back to that. So you were powerless, because 8s are power. So maybe there was some sort of life event, major life event that led to that. I would have to say it would probably be in childhood, but it could even go up to, it wouldn't have to be that, maybe where you didn't feel safe and secure. It doesn't have to be the food, water, or maybe where you didn't feel safe and secure. I would have to say it's one of those. Maybe affected this. Because that would be survival. Hiding is a survival, so that could have put you in survival. Sometimes when we aren't accepted, we tend to start to hide ourselves. I can think of it like an example. So this is just an example. I'm not saying this is it, but it's an example. So I can tell you kind of what I'm getting at. So let's say when you were younger, you didn't have the things that everyone else had, like you didn't have, like you were poor. And you didn't have like your parents couldn't even, you know, provide food for you, much less get you a video game, you know what I mean? But all the other kids had all that, you know, video games, or they had the best clothes. So then So then you didn't feel accepted, or you know what I mean? You would have to start to hide yourself. That's just an example. So you wouldn't be able to accept yourself because others wouldn't accept you. You could have even been bullied. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's just a kind of an example. But everyone would have different experiences and play out in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? That wouldn't have to be. But as you grow up, you would still be hiding your true self. You would be hiding, you would never grow out, like, that insecurity could actually grow up. As you grow up, that insecurity could actually show up as, like, you kind of actually being overconfident on the outside, but you could actually be very controlling. You would be you might be very insecure on the inside, very overconfident on the outside. You could be very controlling. It could show up in a lot of ways. So it would be wearing a mask. You do everything you can not to show your true self. Okay, so what's this King of Wands? You could also have a lot of sabotaging behavior too. Resist. That's so interesting. There's resistance here, defensiveness, resistance, especially with groups. Fear of judgment. Fear of people, what people will think. Nine of Swords. What is this strategy? Wow, very held back, like greedy. Could be greedy, or very like we hold our energy back. Greedy with your energy. Yeah. That was just for me, for my own. What's the Seven of Swords? these people? Who are all these people? Hold on, I want to see what that is. I'm going to have to use a different deck. So it seems like there's some people. I don't know if you hide. Yeah, you're like not happy, but you hide it. You pretend to be busy to avoid things. To avoid processing things, I feel like. So you keep busy. Like it's like one of those people who can't like sit still. Because if you sit still, you're going to have to process and think. Unfulfilled. Some of you could even have some sort of sex problems. Ooh, workplace affair. So 7 of Swords can be some sneakiness. And that won't be for everybody, okay? So this Saturn is about lessons. It's about karma. It's about, so these readings are about you looking at yourself. So if you're not ready to do that, these are not for you. I mean, no one's perfect. Everyone does not everyone's an angel. If I can sit up here and say I've never done anything wrong, then I would lie. Like, so these next couple of years may be for you to, if you're open to looking at things, it's for you to kind of like go through and finally go through some things, look through and kind of reevaluate some things to close out some cycles. I feel like to finally process, to not hide. You know what I mean? Because I know for me, I finally got to a point that I got tired of doing the same thing over and over, attracting the same people, doing the same things over and over, like, and having, it's like insanity, like having the same types of relationships, and they end the same way. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying it's always the other person's fault. Like, I've been the bad guy, I've been the good guy. You know what I mean? Like, I've been controlling in relationships. You know, it's about looking at yourself and seeing how you can change, how you can have a better life. So you get to a point where you get tired of doing the same thing. You know what I mean? And you finally, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you're like, you finally realize that, you know, maybe I am part of the problem. And that's when you're really open to like look at things. So maybe during this transit, that's what's happening, because that's what this looks like to me. Kind of like looking through to close out some cycles. Because look at self-love. Because almost that's what these cards look like. Because that's what the Ace of Swords to me as well looks like. It's like getting the truth. Because I feel like for a while there has been avoidance. I feel like there's been some avoidance. Like, we've been trying to keep ourselves busy to avoid processing some pain. That's what it looks like to me. Where we've been hiding parts of ourselves, maybe not taking some accountability, or just hiding parts. Like, maybe there hasn't been a connection. I'm kind of good. I don't know when I started recognizing. I'm trying to think about when I started kind of recognizing, connecting stuff from my childhood to patterns that I was, things that I was, behaviors that I was doing. So maybe that's part of what you're, because I'm kind of connecting something. It looks like something's connecting. back to your childhood with me bringing up the Maslow. It's almost like something, I don't know if there was like an abandonment or a time where you didn't feel safe. It's going to be different for everybody. I feel like it has to do with this power, like, but it looks like at the end, it looks like you're going to be able to close the gift, as you're going to be able to close out, I'm going to get to that in a minute, a huge cycle in your life, and there's going to be a union. So I actually maybe I will get to that now. So if you haven't been able to have any type of successful relationships, this could be that as well. Especially if you've been, if you haven't been able to have any successful relationships. I can see this in both ways because this is union. So I can see it in two ways. Either it's a union within yourself, or if you haven't been able to have any successful love relationships, it could be the gift as you are able to overcome some sort of pattern and you are able to have a successful relationship. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I guess I don't need to pick these up. This looks like you're closing out a cycle. That's the gift. A major cycle. Because I almost feel like you've been running from something. You've been hiding. Not only hiding parts of yourself that you didn't want to process or avoid, something you've been avoiding, like maybe your shadow or negative side, things you didn't want to accept that you've like done, but also just hiding yourself, like your true self. I want to look at this card. I just want to look at 30 real quick. So these are gifts. And this is not all going to happen at once. It's going to kind of happen over, obviously, over a 2-year period. So it's not all happening at once. Like you may get some epiphanies and then process some, and or some things may happen. You know what I mean? It's not all going to happen at once. Lilies. Wisdom, purity, maturity, family, and community welfare are all indicated by this card. The lilies represent virtue, genuinely good intent. Oh, if it indicates sexual relations, it's monogamous. A faithful relationship. Interesting. So what comes out of this is like, it's like you close the door on the past. If you haven't had any like positive relationships, like it looks like you end up with a positive like union that's monogamous. Okay, that's the gift. After this is like processed, faced, and left behind. And if it's not like you, I don't know, I feel like there's some element of cheating here. So if you haven't been the cheater, then maybe you attract a lot of cheaters. So that would have to do with like self-esteem, self-worth. And if you're not, and if you're hiding your true self, if you're not, if you don't feel safe to be vulnerable and show your true self, of course you're not going to attract authentic people. So then if you, during this transit, put yourself out there and have the courage and confidence, because the King of Wands is about confidence, to do that, then that's when you're going to attract this. Okay, so it can go that way as well. So we can read it like that. But it's, what it boils down to is you like not hiding yourself. All right, that's what I have, and I will see you next time.